Welcome into DC On Screen, a podcast about the DC Universe properties being brought to film and television. I am your host, David C. Robertson. And this, my co-host, Jason.
Hello. We should amend that. We really should amend the beginning of the show for this particular episode.
Oh, yeah, we should. But we won't, because we've already done it. But
sure, but that's what amendments are there for.
So I guess this episode is a podcast about a DC Universe property that has been on television, but is no longer on television.
And will not be brought to.
And will not be brought to television. Yeah. This episode, we're going to do something a little weird.
Before we get started, we're as confused as you are.
Yeah, it's a little bit of willy and a whole lot of nilly. Mm-hmm. With a very loose outline, a very loose plan as to what's actually going to happen.
Right. Which is a lot like our other episodes, except that this one has a different number at the front.
Right. So, here's the thing. We mentioned it earlier. Daniel Cerrone, the showrunner of Constantine, actually released a script for an unproduced episode of Constantine, episode 114. Mm-hmm. The episode was called Final Girl. I just looked over at my notepad to see what the title of the episode was.
You caught it just in time?
No, I looked over at it and went, by fire. Nope, that's for Gotham. I didn't write anything down for this.
There's nothing to write down. It's all written down.
I know.
It is what it be, man.
So, we're going to talk about this script, and for anyone who is interested in... We're going to get into spoilers on the script. For anyone who's interested in reading it, it's free. You shouldn't feel bad. Don't go and, think, well, this is wrong. No, go download it. He put it out there for you to download.
You're not pirating. He went on Twitter and asked, was it 20,000 or 2,000?
I think it was 3,000.
3,000? He asked for X amount of thousand of retweets for his request. He got 150% of those in an amount of time that's absurd, and actually is indicative of the amount of people that wanted this show back. But he got them, and in spades, and here we are. This is legitimate. Go enjoy yourself. Read a script. This is actually what scripts look like. This is how they get sent to people. If you've been watching, say, Kreisberg, Guggenheim, even Berlanti, if you've watched their little Twitters and Instagram pictures, they've shown you the cover page of an episode of Arrow or something, right? Well, this is what's behind it. This is what it looks like. It's a lot of fucking fun.
Pretty much. It's a lot of fun. It does kind of pull back the curtain a little bit. You're going to read it and you're going to go, oh, because what you're going to do is you're going to see, especially in this script, I'm looking at it and reading the descriptions and stuff, right? And I have studied this stuff for years and years and years. Jason and I both have through watching television and reading things about scripts, but
accidentally or otherwise. But damn it,
yeah, accidentally stumbling upon writing ourselves,
right?
But there are notes in the descriptions of the scenes happening. It's fine tuned, man. They explain why they're doing certain things. They even say we hope the audience has forgotten about this person.
Right.
And
that one cracked me up.
They're describing the beats in just the way you see them on television. So it's very structured and very laid out.
There's a specific bit where they mention an object and say, for anyone playing at home, if you've seen the object several times, don't get me wrong, they describe the action, they describe what you're supposed to have seen, but there really are. It's a neat little... If you've never read an actual script for something that was supposed to be on television, this is a fun exercise. It's a lot of fun anyway.
Yeah.
And it's an episode of a show you never thought you'd get to see again. So, hey, go for it.
Yeah, go check it out.
There are even
we're
typos.
Talk about it now.
It's that raw. There are typos in this motherfucker.
So, the basic idea, don't get your hopes up. There's not going to... This is a one-off, man. This is a creature feature. Creature of the week.
Yeah, man. Monster of the week. You're not...
Freak of the week. This isn't going to be what happened with Manny and...
This isn't an ending. No.
Yeah. Not in any...
If you get an ending, it'll be an AMA 3 years from now, whatever they're calling AMA at that time. Mm-hmm. It's not now.
Well, it's Reddit, and the AMA. They've prided themselves on not changing on the internet. So you go look at their website. It's the ugliest freaking website you've ever seen. If you haven't been on Reddit, it looks like something from like 1994.
No, it's a cute concept though. Not changing on the internet. Hope that works out for them. Because I still remember how to write HTML 1.0, but I'll be damned if it's worth a damn.
It's worked very well for them actually. But anyway, it is a very clean interface. I will say that for Reddit.
It is. It's straightforward.
Their user base are largely dicks, but
or people looking for pictures of dicks, or people looking to think about theirs while they look at pictures of things. It's Reddit, man.
Social justice warriors and angry racists and just the worst of the worst of the worst.
Also known as humanity. It's
also known as teenage humanity.
A smorgasbord of human emotions set to page.
Anyway, speaking of set to page, we're going to talk about the script now.
There you go.
You like that?
I do.
So there's a group of friends with the worst names you've ever heard.
They are. They truly are.
Well, it was like Jackers and Reggie.
You've got Becca, Reggie, Artie, and Jackers. And there was also a group of 4 people who are otherwise friends, except that Reggie is the worst person in the entire town. An indescript town. They don't say where they're going. I don't know if that's something the producers might have thrown in later just to include people or what. But you're in a town somewhere in the South because that's where Constantine was based.
Right.
It's 5 hours from Atlanta. We actually do know that from the script. So draw your maps. There's a County Road 32, I think it is in there. So. Do your worst, Internet.
And there's a well.
And there's a well. And a cabin. And a sheriff.
So they're basically just a grouping of stereotypes. They've even got the slut.
Sure.
It's like straight. This script is straight out of a horror movie. Like it really is.
It is. Like
we were.
Let's just do this. Before we even review it, let's just describe the damn thing.
No, sure.
Before we. Yeah, let's do that part.
Yeah, that's what I was attempting to do.
Oh, okay. I felt like summarizing it as this is a horror movie is pretty much having described it. So let's just do the actual work of describing it.
Right. So basically there's this jackass named Reggie. He's been screwing around with Jackers a little too much, and he always does. And this is a guy who's like a juvenile delinquent anyway. He's been in and out of jail. There are some words. He has apparently pantsed Jackers on his birthday. He stole his his keys in his wallet, and decided to max out the dude's credit card, and then got a little rapey with one of the chicks there. So when that happened, Jackers kind of had enough and hit him in the head with a shovel, and they thought killed him. They decided not to say anything. They dragged his ass to a well and threw him in. Well, it turns out he was still alive. And then one girl, I think it was Becca, just kind of... Was it Becca?
Oh, no. This was Vanya.
Vanya. Yeah. So
last nail in the coffin thing?
They kind of realized that, like, if they got Reggie out of the well, he would just kind of be even worse than before. So she just picks up a rock and just drops it.
Yeah. It's kind of fun. Like they end up in this terrible situation. Like Jackers just smacks them in the face with a shovel, and then their solution is oh shit. So they drag him out to the local well, where it seems so obvious to a bunch of teenagers that surely there are other dead bodies in the well. But they drag him out there and they just shove him down the hole, and then they realize he might be alive. And apparently the one girl goes nope and drops a giant rock on his head.
Well, he's in the well, and he's demanding that they help him out, and then he actually threatens them. He says, if you don't let me out, I'm going to kill you. And they're like, nope.
We're past the biting off more than he can chew point.
Now, to be fair, he did make good on his word. If you don't let me out, I will kill you. And he did.
He did.
He did.
I'll give him that. Reggie, the most dynamic character of the script.
Yes. And that's the last time you actually hear anything from Reggie.
Yeah.
Because
he's a ghoul from that point on.
Yeah, he comes back as sort of a Voorhees-esque character. He or as Constantine puts it, a meat cutter. He comes out and...
As far as Voorhees-esque, he comes out in a mask with a machete and a plan to kill a bunch of people who may or may not have wronged him. Short of the Friday the 13th movies going off kilter here and then, he's got a mask, He wants revenge. Got a machete. Pretty sure I've seen that on the cover.
The only thing that makes him really worse is that instead of a hockey mask, he takes down some poor unwitting sheep or goat or something. Like, he hacks up this goat.
Mask. It's a goat mask.
And
there's a quiet moment where hold on, I want to find this.
It actually writes it in the script that he like walks by like a shop window.
Yeah.
He walks by a shop window and looks over and sees his like bloated, swollen, dead face and thinks, this won't do.
Right.
And then quietly looks over at a goat and goes, ah.
And they have a moment in the script that describes the goat kind of doing the meh, and then just silently.
They do.
Just blah. Just nothing. Done. Meh.
They do.
Yeah.
So Zed has had a vision to come here, and
remember, she has no scry map now.
Yeah, they had no scry map, so it's John and Zed, and they come to this town, and they've it wasn't him though, was it? Was it him or was it the
Manny?
God, was it another one?
What
Was it another dead guy?
What's happening?
When they show up in that town initially, was it him? Was it Reggie, or was it some other dead guy? Because Judith shows up and saves his ass, and then she's talking about like this is his old friend from Newcastle, another member of the Newcastle group comes to save his ass.
Sure.
Well, I'm just kind of describing the episode.
Yeah, that's the point of this portion of the show anyway. So yeah.
Right. Yeah. So so she comes in, but I can't remember if that was Reggie who she saved his ass from, or if that was another dead guy that she killed, and he was annoyed that she killed him.
That's a good point.
I just couldn't remember. Either way, old Newcastle person shows up. She and John shag. Zed's
Give me 2 seconds.
Jealous.
Keep describing.
She even she throws knives. So and Zed kind of tries to throw a knife and doesn't do it well. She's like, "Well, I'm not used to these knives. I'm used to other knives." And they're all like, "Oh, that's sweet and sad." Now it turns out that that's completely true by the end of the episode.
That's fair.
But
all right. Third party slasher. Yeah, they both show up to stop someone, find each other, and Judith is kind of there punk rocking it as she does.
Mm-hmm. So it was not Reggie. It was a third party slasher.
It was a third party slasher.
Okay, so she's been running around,
which was
killing
good
all
for
these
the
things.
episode because he intimates later that there may be other. It comes up.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, and that even more makes her seem like an idiot.
Which one, Judith?
The fact that there are clearly it's like so many of them, and John is completely right in being like, "Hey, let's find out what's stopping this, let's find out what's starting this, and then we can, put an end to it, as opposed to just keep killing them."
He is in retrospect, but
not even in retrospect. On the face of it in the moment, I would be like, "Yeah, sure, dude."
Let me explain her position in a minute. Let's get through it.
All right. So basically, they go to this town and with her in tow, and they're trying to track down the people who caused it, and people are dying left and right. Like Jackers dies, and he doesn't want anything to do with it. He's going to get life. Like I kind of like that. It really told you a lot about the character without them having to do it, because the other characters want to go to the police.
Right.
And he's just like, yeah, no, and I'm the one who had the shovel. So your dad's rich and will get you off.
Yeah, he describes it as well, Vanya's out of the picture at the moment. They don't know she's dead yet, but she actually is already dead. And she says like, no, Vanya's dad's got money. He'll buy her out of it. You two, you'll get the sympathy of the sheriff. Me, I'm going to pay for all of you. And he asks for an hour's lead. That's all he asks for. 1 hour's lead.
He says like, I'll get life, and I'll be paying for you just like always.
Right.
So
next round's on me, I think was in there as a phrase. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
I kind of like that.
Yeah, I did too. Now, what I didn't like is that Vanya, or whatever her name was.
I have no idea. They'd have to say it. It's a name I've never even seen.
Like, they did to go the horror movie route. Like, they portrayed her as kind of like the chick that's just screwing random dudes in bathrooms.
Yes.
And then, like, the killer comes in. Just like, she goes out for a smoke, and there's a bucket, and she goes to look in the bucket, and she thinks it's not funny. She's like, it's too soon, guys. Well, her head's soon in the bucket.
Right. Like, if you've never seen Cabin in the Woods, it's the slut. If you have seen Cabin in the Woods, it's the blonde slut. That's an archetype, not a judgment. That's how films like this are made.
Yep. So
and sure enough, she falls right into it.
Yeah. Now, one of the things I did like, I guess we'll go on with the description here. Sorry, I keep wanting to stop and talk about it.
I know.
So at the end of the day, like John keeps telling her that she keeps telling Judith we've got to trap him. She's mad because John stops her from killing the thing, and she's pissed off. And this is my game. Blah blah blah. And he's like, no.
I will say one thing before that happens. They do sit there and talk about like her and he, and they talk about Newcastle for a second. They don't like to bring it. There's a couple of nice bits where John doesn't want to actually talk about Newcastle. He cuts him off. Like he's actually like cooking breakfast for them, it's
dinner,
cooking dinner, but he knows how to make breakfast. He's British, if they haven't brought that up before. So he knows how to make basically like eggs with beans and toast. So that's what he's making for them. And yeah, like Zed and Judith are having a little bit of conversation in there. But and they have a neat little scene where Zed's trying to throw a knife. It's going to come back later. But I
mentioned that like 5 minutes ago.
I know. But they have a couple of cute little scenes where there actually is some interaction. Turns out there is a little bit of love lust between them. But then it very quickly gets to the rest of it.
Yeah, and apparently Zed says they're very loud at night.
Yeah. Zed cracked me up, actually, because as she's going up the stairs, in case you're wondering, I'm a heavy sleeper. And then, the first thing out of her mouth when she comes back, you guys are loud. Oh, my God. Zed's a good roommate. Of banshees. Yeah, that's a good roommate. Look, bitch in private, but, let a dude have his space.
Yeah. Now, so, yeah, they wind up going, and she lets John go with her. Judith allows John to go with her on the agreement that is her show. Of course, we know that he won't let that happen. But they get out there. He doesn't let her kill the thing. He doesn't let her kill Reggie. She's pissed. And she just kind of becomes stony and keeps drinking and getting more and more pissed at John. He's wanting to run tests and figure out like where this demon thing came from, why it keeps coming up, who's like calling these meat cutters, what's happening. Which is perfectly reasonable and logical. Like, if she's been running around the country trying to ward off all of these things, I would have already called John to be like, dude, can you please help me figure out why these things are happening? Because this is horseshit.
Yeah, they get into that.
She just keeps getting angry and angrier.
Jude, you might be hunting random reanimated killers like you think, or you might be playing whack-a-mole with one demon or one entity, moving from body to body. I got tested in my kit to find out. It's a very reasonable argument.
Yeah, completely reasonable argument. So big spoiler, they come up and they figure out how to catch the thing, and he runs all the tests, and it turns out she has caused them. She has caused it to keep reanimating.
Of course she has. There's your big twist for the episode. That's kind of the it's not uncalled. That's your twist. That's what you get, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, that's the big deal. Yeah. Like right there. That's it.
Yeah.
Like
that's the. And don't get me wrong, if I was watching this episode, it would probably been fun because Matt Ryan was charming as all hell, and then that's what we got to. Mm-hmm. That was it. That's what you tuned in for.
What was fun about the episode, and why I wish it had been an episode at the end of all, but was they actually listed everyone every part of the Newcastle crew.
They did.
She was the last member that we hadn't seen on screen.
Yeah.
Even earlier in the episode, he had mentioned, "Did you know that Gary's dead?" And it hits her hard, and she didn't know. And he tells her that Gary's dead. Richie has a new habit, and the girl is wearing one now. She's a nun. So I can't remember her name for some reason.
I can't either. I was trying to find it, but come on. Oh, wait. Nope. Never mind. Sorry.
All right. It was a good turn of phrase.
It's a giant script. I'm sorry. I'm trying to scroll through it, and we can't remember everything.
Yeah, but it was a good turn of phrase. It was a lot of fun. But the reason that what she wound up doing was because of her accidentally sending that little girl to hell, she decided to invoke a spell that would basically trade a soul for a mark on her slate, essentially. For a sin on her slate. A mark
on her final slate, too. Apparently that's
right.
A little bit of a difference in that. In the context of, Constantine's world, there is they're gradients even to, the judgment of Peter, for fuck's sake. So in her version, yeah, she just wanted to get off her final marker. Yeah, she tried. And Constantine even admits, you did the spell right. It's just there's some other shit going on.
Yeah, you did it right. He says the rising darkness is kind of, playing fast and loose with a lot of stuff going on right now. I mean, it's just crazy.
You can't use the rules you were previously using. And they've been addressing that through the whole series, so this wouldn't have been surprising for that.
So basically she had gone to a this murderer or something was on death row, and like there's like a candlelight vigil outside, people protesting. She goes and she casts a spell there, and it's his soul that keeps being reanimated into all these dead people and running around killing people. So she's the cause.
Right. Yeah.
Now, there was kind of a cool thing. There was kind of a cool bit at the very end. Like, he doesn't want her to go, but she leaves and stuff. But there's like
he says that much in the middle of the episode to kind of trick her.
Yeah, but that was that was trickery. But
that's
it's not
John being
it's
John.
not real. That was John being John. The end was John being real. He didn't want her to go.
Right. That's the thing is like when when Constantine is telling you, "I don't want you to go. I can't lose you right now." Like when it's something slightly metaphysical and slightly, I don't know, less specific. If it's generalized in that kind of way, yeah, he's probably playing the confidence man on you. You're in for something. When he actually just says, join me for a pint, that's real shit from him.
Mm-hmm.
He would have given anything to just sit down and have a pint with an old friend. That means a lot to John Constantine. And at this point in his life, in this series, it's getting hard to come by.
Yeah. Everyone is like against him, talking about how like he's so selfish and shit. It's crazy. It's like in a lot of ways this episode did exactly what most of the other episodes did. Like some old member of the Newcastle crew comes over, or someone who knows John somehow comes through and winds up telling him, "You're a selfish son of a bitch. You got everyone to do what you wanted them to do because you played them.
Well,
you're a great player, John."
At the very end, they have the little conversation. I'll just read it out.
Sure.
Judith. I hate you. You're everyone's best time, and then you take it away. Gary, Richie, and Mary, Frank, you brought us together, John, then you tore us apart. Destroyed everything we were. Constantine. I destroyed myself, too. Sure. Judith, I wonder why. Was it too much to handle? People caring for you, accepting you, you couldn't deal with it, so you flew too high and burned us all up? Constantine, it wasn't like that. Judith, the real irony is I found a new life, one that counted, but you had to come and take that, too. That's pretty much that's every discussion he's had with every old friend all season, right?
Pretty much. But this is at the very end. She's wrong, though. Yes, she found a new existence, but it wasn't one of purpose. It was one that she created accidentally, and was just going to keep getting other people killed.
Right.
So she's really the one being selfish.
That's
here.
the fun part is like the way she uses the word "the real irony." It actually should be more coincidental, but in the concept of the narrative, she's actually right. It is ironic that she meant to do that, and it's not what she intended. So she's got the word right, but only in writing terms, not in dialogue terms, I suppose. But yeah, like she, to her credit, yeah, she tried to make something of it, and they do. Like Zed points out over the course of the episode that no one's that put together. I think is how she phrases it.
Right.
No one should be that well held up, and they do. Like it's specifically in the script, they mention she doesn't know what to do for a second, and it says like a rare moment of vulnerability. She's this extremely put together character.
Yeah. And even John is taken aback by that. This is not the woman she knew. He says
he's impressed. He's also not his first. It's not his first rodeo. So as impressed as he is, he still tricks her into making sure that he's there. And that's what the people get so annoyed with. Is like they were part of his crew, and that's fine. And like this would have been fun to watch over the course of the series because all of these people that got there, they end up in these situations, and all of their reactions to this point had been really fun to watch. I mean, Lester, Richie, her, even depending on. I mean, you talked about this. Like the episode, whether it was fun to watch, would have completely depended on who was cast for Judith.
Right, and that's where I stand with depending on who was playing Judith. would have been the deciding factor on whether or not I felt like the character had what I felt like she had, but I feel like yes, she made like stupid decisions, and she had no common sense. because she was saying, like, this is my new life and you took it from me. Well, no, you made that life and you took it from yourself. And also, like, why would you not want him to figure out where the thing was coming from so it would stop? Well,
yeah,
common sense go out the window, because she was desperate for a new life, and this was her life of purpose. She didn't want him to take that from her.
Right.
She
This
wanted
was
to keep running
just
around killing these things.
Like, it was her coping mechanism.
But depending on who played it and how well they played it, that would have been the suspension of disbelief for me. Like, how much that made sense for me.
Right. Because if she had hit the nuance of that being something that she begrudged, the idea that maybe she kind of knew that the whole time. If you were looking at that as a subtext, maybe the entire episode, and saw her go through this overt conversation that you knew was happening internally, you're probably buying the entire thing. If she just actually looked so dumb that she was turned around by the entire thing, you would wonder why John ever took her on the crew to begin with.
Mm-hmm. The important thing would be, it had to be some combination of war-weary and strung out, I think. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
You'd have to... Man, I kind of wish we had seen this one.
Oh,
I really...
I really... That goes without saying, almost.
Well, I mean, I wish we'd had, like, 5 more seasons of this show.
Right.
But, I mean, it wasn't perfect. It wasn't perfect tonally to the comic.
No.
But, God, they had John right. They had John pretty damn...
No, Matt Ryan at this point
right.
is definitively... You have to show me something better, and then it better be damn good. Because he
Pretty
got
much.
it. He absolutely got it.
Pretty much, man.
And at the very end of the episode, she says, like, her quote again, John, at least I try to make myself better, but you're still trying to... This is where it gets weird. But you're still trying to your friends and sacrificing them for the cause. There are typos in the script, guys. What are you going to do when you've killed off everyone you ever cared about? That's where it left us, right? That's where the first part of season 1 was leaving us as an arc. Rising Darkness, if you want to be around John, you're going to die. The only person who doesn't have to worry about that has, 30-ish lives. And the only other person actually can see the future, so she might have a fighting chance. But
yeah,
it was getting to the point where if you wanted to be around John Constantine, you damn well better be willing to, be damned. And that was where they were going to leave us for the first part of season 1. Going into even the second half of season 1, I would have been excited as all hell.
Yeah. God, I wish we could have that show back.
I know. I mean, there were things
show,
in
man.
this episode in particular, like, I know it was Monster of the Week, and come on, but they did a little bit to kind of add, it was padding the nuances of that character. And yeah, it didn't do anything, like, you're not going to get anything out of the episode that, God help us, maybe Serona will release something else and we'll get something.
Right.
I don't care if it's a comic book, I want something. I mean,
Yeah.
I really want the ending to show up on Arrow, but that seems like a fool's dream.
What'd be great is if they convinced CW just to do like a special 2-hour event that was just like a TV movie of the week and just finished it up.
Be amazing.
What
Just
if they'd
do
be willing to do that?
Do that midsummer. Do that like end of June. You'll win summer.
You will win summer, and dude, I mean,
You'll have
God,
like 25 million viewers over the course of. You can amortize that for the summer, for fuck's sake. Like, just do it.
and you'd have all those DVD sales coming in. You'd have, I mean, come on, someone please.
There's
Someone,
money
please.
there. Just someone spend it. It'll come back.
Oh,
But there were disappointments, but it's not about the script itself. It's just about what we'll never get to see. Like, there was no more Chaz, and that bothers me because I really liked that guy. I mean, the character was good. I liked the actor. I was down. Manny, I thought the guy playing Manny was doing a fucking great job. And, he's not here. He's not here at all. There's nothing about the episode as far as how it goes into the heaven-hell story.
Right.
That's not on the episode. That's where we were with this episode at the time.
This also was, the script is good to some degree, but it is. It's an episode of the week, and
I mean, it's a tight
frustrating.
Script.
It's a tight script.
You didn't get to Act 3 and go, what the fuck? It's a tight script.
Right, right. But it's just, it's like, yay, we got more, and then we got more, and we were like, but it didn't tell us anything.
Right.
So it was also incredibly frustrating.
I know. So, you get to the end of this document and think, oh my God, I wanted so much more. Why aren't there,
right?
15 more documents I have to read?
Oh, man. Yeah. I mean, I want more. I just want more Constantine, buddy. That's what I want.
I know. They did have a really good reference to Judith in the books. At the end of the episode, crows fly over.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was a really good reference to like Judith in the books and her whole. She goes down a very dark path and turns into a crow and kind of tries to end heaven and just fuck all that shit.
Yeah.
But that part was good. Hey, how much did you like? I think the way it's phrased in the script is TBD magical event.
I loved that. I actually did want to bring that up. To be decided magical event.
Right. We don't have this written yet. There's some magic.
There's like an action beat.
Right here.
Yeah, that's like the big end all for
Right.
the like Reggie attacking Constantine and Judith, and it
It's
says like
before when they're doing it's TBD magical test a couple times too.
yeah, it's just like
It's just
Well,
it's
here
those
we
cool
go.
parts in the show where Constantine incants something, and some visual smoky effects come up around him, and
Yeah.
God knows what happens.
there's a flourish of some sort, and
Right.
then a thing happens that saves the plot.
Right. Look, Constantine Ex Machina is coming in heavy, and these scripts were never immune to it, and Era's not too. Era's not as well.
I mean, at times I feel like the entire Arrow series is just a giant Deus Machina for the Flash, and vice versa.
That's actually true. Entirely true.
Like when they get to a big bad they can't face down, suddenly there's Barry.
Right?
Hey, what's going on?
Oh my God, we're all trapped in a dungeon. Oh wait, Barry.
They
Oh
actually
my
had
God,
like a
I have
much
no idea
more,
how to deal with
like-
the reverse flash. Oh wait, what up, Ollie?
Yeah, apparently for that scene where like where Barry saves Team Arrow from the Nana Parbat
Right.
prison.
Right.
They actually had like a good
Nana Par
in-show.
prison.
They actually did have and like shoot. They shot like a good like in-show reason for them escaping, like a way that they escaped.
Yeah.
And then at the last minute they were like, "Oh wait, no, we should just have Barry come help them
Right.
because that'll be good for the shows."
Right. And I don't know why that was at the last minute. I mean, don't get me wrong, you can't go too far and be like, Barry should save everything.
Right.
Like last episode we were there for, Lady Cop's got Oliver by the spinal cord. You don't want to have Barry pop in. No, that's a time for Quentin Lance to make a rousing speech. Sure, great. But, man, there are times, roughly mid-season and season finales, where it's exactly the right time.
Nope. I want Felicity to be at the computer and going like, "We have blah blah blah, and this is coming in, and blah blah blah." And like Diggle's like, "Let's suit up," and then Oliver's like, "My stomach hurts." Next scene is just him on like his little Bluetooth. Barry going, "Hello?" And he's like, "Barry, this is Oliver. What's wrong? I don't feel like going out and fighting crime tonight. What are you doing?"
Got a touch of the flu. I'm sorry.
There are some ghosts running around out here. Like literal ghosts? No, they're like assassin.
No, they're like some dudes.
Look, just-
they're really well trained, but that won't be a problem.
They've got cyanide capsules. Diggle will fill you in. Can you please just like kind of jog over here and help?
Right.
Well, I mean, I'm kind of like, I was ordering this cappuccino with my name on it. What? Okay.
Yeah.
Please come help.
I was about to sit down with this Patty girl and see what's what, but okay. Okay, yeah, I'll hop over here instead because you can't do your job. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I do want to see that.
Yeah. And you'd love to have, you'd love to have Ollie just retort like, "Come on, man. Right. They're a supernatural like Constantine had to pop on last week. This is out of my hands now."
You know what? I actually would kind of want to see that scene. Definitely. I would want to see that scene if it ended with this. If Barry's like, "Dude, come on, man. I mean, I'm doing this." He's like, and then Arrow goes, "It will literally take you 2 seconds." And then Barry goes, "It really will."
That would make me extremely happy.
And then he goes and helps out. And that's the end of it.
No, actually, I as the most fun you could have with it maybe is part of like an engagement ceremony. Like Oliver, not engagement ceremony, like a part of the wedding. Like Oliver forgets the rings somewhere, just loses them, remembers they're across town, calls Barry, please help. Well, I'm really busy, Zoom. I know, like it'll take you 4 seconds. Comes, grabs the rings. You need anything else? Nope, thank you so much. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Why is Barry not at their wedding?
Well, he was busy. But then you have to pop in
Zoom?
like, dude, it'll be like 5 seconds. Well, I'm fighting Zoom right now. I know, but it'll be like 5 seconds. That's the amount of time Zoom needs to ruin the entire wedding. I know, but I'm on another show. He'll never know.
All right. Do we have any more about this Constantine episode in the script that didn't happen?
That's a good point. It's a good point. The Flash wasn't on it. That's really at this point my biggest problem. But that's because the conversation's waned on me. So we've barreled. No, man, it was a straightforward episode. It was a very it was Monster of the Week. Watching it, I would have enjoyed it. Like we said, I think it's entirely dependent on who they cast for Judith. If that was a great character, then I would have been totally on board with the episode. If it was a bad character, I'd have probably been pretty like episode 2 is what it reminds me of. If it was that kind of episode. Otherwise,
just reading the script, I think it was better than episode 2.
I would think. I really would.
But it was pretty rote. I did enjoy the Newcastle stuff. I did enjoy seeing going back and uncovering a little more of that story. But at the same time, I was also going like, dude, enough with people just telling Johnny's a piece of shit all the time.
Right. Well, I think if you were a fan of the,
needs to get over it.
If you were, I don't know, if you were paying attention to the Newcastle crew before, you were happy to see yet another member make a big appearance. I think that's where the bulk of the episode would have been. This is another member of the Newcastle crew. If you're a Constantine fan, you were waiting on it, right?
Yeah.
And, she's relatively big as far as that goes. So, yeah, this would have been the bulk of it. You get to see another huge member. I'm not sure how many more they would have shown, though. Like, when you look at that crew, I'm not sure how much more there was to do with it.
Yeah, I think that was everybody. That was all. That was pretty much everyone they've ever mentioned.
There's like a motorcycle rider somewhere in there. I'm not sure we've had that. It was getting a little slim. Well, a lot of the major players I think had been pretty much taken advantage of. I'm sure someone will think we're wrong about that, but damn it.
If we're wrong, let us know we're wrong.
We're willing to accept we're wrong. I mean, shit.
Yeah, sure. We'll say we're sorry.
We've apologized before.
That's all I've got, man. That's all I've got.
And we'll do it again. I'm willing to bet.
That episode. Yeah, go check out the episode, man. Go read it. It only takes you about 30 minutes.
I actually,
unless you're a slow reader.
If you're kind of just like casually strolling through it, it takes you, I'd say like about 35 minutes. It's less than the time it would have taken you to watch the episode. Strange enough. If you do a thing like I do sometimes, if you're reading a script and you see the episode, like the scene description at the top before the dialogue starts, if you really take a second and try to like play that out and play a few scenarios in your head, it'll take you about an hour and a half to read.
But you'll have more fun.
You really will. And because you played several scenarios, you'll get to judge it.
And you'll get to judge yourself. All right. I think that's going to do it for this episode of DC On Screen.
I believe so.
Thank you guys for listening. If you would like more of our podcast, hit that subscribe button. We are on iTunes. We're on Stitcher. We are a proud member of the Giant Size Team Up Network. You can find every episode on DCOnScreen.com. If you would like to check out a similar podcast about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, check out the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast with our friends Matt Carroll and Jeff Randall at MCUcast.com. This will be our last episode of the week, but we'll be coming back soon with, more news, more reviews of Arrow, The Flash, Gotham, and Supergirl.
We'll be back soon. You won't even miss us.
God, you won't miss us.
For one reason or the other.
You won't. And if you do miss us, write us. We'll write back.
Right.
And we'll talk to you on the show and stuff.
We're always available.
It'll be a lot of fun.
Sometimes always available.
Sometimes always available.
Yeah. At least some of the always.
Well, until we meet again, keep some DC on your screen.
With Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to... Has anyone seen the bride and groom?
Sorry, we're here. We were getting lucky in the limo and we lost track of time.
No, Lucky Land Casino, with cash prizes that add up quicker than a guest registry.
In that case, I pronounce you lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Daily bonuses are waiting. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.